Welcome to College Football Insight, our college football playoff review. I'm Noah Breeden.
And I'm Lane Whitney.
Before we get into this week's action, we'll briefly follow up our last week's show on the Army-Navy game.
Navy shocked the country, winning 31-13, even though they went into the Northwest Stadium predicted to lose.
Now moving to the playoffs, we'll start off with the biggest game in Indiana this season. Number 7 Notre Dame will be hosting the number 10 Indiana Hoosiers.
Looking at IU's last matchup, they faced off against the Purdue Boilermakers.
The outcome of that game was 66-0, with Curtis Rourke throwing 23 for 31, with just under 350 passing yards and throwing 6 touchdowns.
This complete turnaround for the Hoosiers has been due to their first-year Indiana head coach, Kurt Cignetti, who also just got Coach of the Year last week.
Looking at Notre Dame, in their last outing, they barely got by their rivals, the USC Trojans, 49-35.
Notre Dame QB Riley Leonard threw 17 for 22 for just under 160 yards and 2 touchdowns on 1 interception. Some
score predictors have Marcus Freeman and his Fighting Irish winning by 1 possession.
On Saturday, the SMU Mustangs will be traveling to Happy Valley to take on Penn State in a packed whiteout matchup at noon. SMU will have to deal with below freezing temperatures for the first time this season.
Odds makers predict Penn State and Drew Aller to take down the Mustangs by 2 possessions, but don't count them out yet as they are still undefeated on the road this season.
A little later in the day, the lowest seed number 12 Clemson travels to Austin, Texas to play the number 5 ranked Texas Longhorns.
The Longhorns are coming off a close win over unranked Texas A&M 17-7.
Texas QB Quinn Ewers threw 17 for 23 on 218 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
Looking at Clemson, this is the first time since 2020 that they have made a playoff appearance.
Clemson's last game was at home against number 15 ranked South Carolina, and the final score was 17-14 with the Gamecocks on top.
And most predictors have the Longhorns winning by 2 scores.
To close out the first round of the college football playoffs, the Tennessee Volunteers will be playing the Ohio State Buckeyes at 8 p.m.
Expect to see a lot of orange and white in the stands, as SeatGeek has reported 42% of ticket sales were purchased in the state of Tennessee, and only just over 20% were purchased in the state of Ohio.
Both of these teams have had up and down seasons, as Ohio State lost to Michigan for the 4th year in a row earlier this season, and Tennessee, on the other hand, was solid besides their rough loss to an unranked Arkansas Razorback squad.
To close out the show, we're going to be giving you a sneak peek of the 4 teams who have already punched their tickets to the quarterfinals.
2 of these teams with an automatic bid are playing in the playoffs for the first time in their team's history.
First, we'll cover the team that received the Group of 5 bid, Boise State, led by Heisman runner-up Ashton Jenny. They have had a record-breaking season, and they hope to continue to add hardware to their trophy case.
Another shocker with a sealed quarterfinals appearance is the Arizona State Sun Devils after defeating Iowa State in the Big 12 finals.
Georgia is also back in the playoffs after barely missing the top 4 seed last year, and now they're waiting to see who wins the IU versus Notre Dame matchup to find their next opponent.
The final team with a bye needs absolutely no introduction, the undefeated Big Ten champions and the number 1 ranked team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. The Ducks are looking to be the first team ever to go 16-0.
There are tons of other bowl games to tune into from now until 2025. You can see the full schedule on ESPN or NCAA.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Noah Breeden.
And we'll be back at the start of the new year, and I'm Lane Whitney. Go Hoosiers!